Welcome back. We're starting a little bit early with our final game. Connecticut Orange going up against Frantz. Get you lineups as things go on, as Drew Balestrini leading things off. And he has a 1-2 count. As into the windup. Just outside with the pitch is Sam Weber, a 2022 out of Cheshire Academy. Balestrini will be followed by Berger and Delana. So from the windup, the 1-2 is skied out into left field. A break back, and now coming in is the left fielder who will put it away for the first out of the inning. So that will bring up Josh Berger. Got caught a little bit off guard by this one starting early.
Yeah, I was hanging out in the press box. Not that it's brutal out here, but it's very nice and cool in there. I'm jealous of our producer.
I literally said it as the first pitch. That's a beautiful sinking pitch there from Weber. And I literally set a timer on my phone for 5 minutes, walked back to my car to sit in the AC, and came back and we're starting. And I wasn't quite sure. The next one is a bounding ball back towards the middle, backhanded by the second baseman. Throw to first is in time. Good job of hustling down the line, but a nice job also by the second baseman in order to be able to get things taken care of, and that will bring up Maddox Delana.
Yeah, at 3:42, the teams were still in their dugouts, and I saw the team in the field break. I didn't even know who it was, and I said, "Uh-oh, gotta run and get some lineups." So I sprinted into both dugouts, wearing my mask, obviously, following the policies, but took some pictures. So if we don't have full lineup cards out right now, it's because we're hastily, as I'm talking, Chad's writing them down, and just trying to get to you as professionally as possible in this first inning or two, putting these lineup cards together.
0-1 the count to Delana. The next one is over for a strike. Weber has really done a nice job here. Next one is a ground ball out towards short. Throw on to first is in time, and the side is retired. So we have a 1-2-3 top of the first for Frantz. We head to the bottom of the first. No score.
Do you want me to give you...
Bottom half of the first inning. Frantz does not score in the top half of the frame. We'll give you the lineup in just a moment. The first on the way is over for a strike to Chris Kennedy. 0-1 the count. On the mound is Jack Loonsman for Frantz. It's a high chop out towards short. Charge to throw to first is in time. That is a beautiful play there. Coming in to charge and making a strong throw from Josh Berger, and there's one away. Alex Oppenheimer, the batter. Oppenheimer, 5'10", 2022 player from Staples High School. Into the windup. Loonsman's first. Fastball over for a strike, 0-1.
Oppenheimer trying to launch an atom bomb today. Hope the viewers at home know their world history. Get that reference.
Really? Really?
Just saying.
Yeah, well, so long as we don't get Enrico Fermi in the mix, I think we'll be okay. I hear Werner von Braun is warming up in the bullpen. The next one is over for strike 2. 1-2 the count.
I'm waiting on my man Albert Einstein to pinch hit.
Well, if you'd seen me a couple of days ago before we did home haircuts round 2, it's the next pitch right down the middle for a ball. 2-2 the count. I could have probably, used some mousse and gotten it out that crazy.
You think so?
It was long.
Yeah, that was me too. Mine's curly, so it doesn't have that kind of, that shape.
The 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So Loonsman coming out and just firing right here. 2 down. And I'll bring up Joel Strand.
I'll tell you what though, I had a mop on my head. If you had the upper body strength, to lift me up and use me, I could have cleaned a lot of floors with where my hair was about 3 weeks ago.
Inning 22, folks. The first pitch is low and away for a ball. 1-0 the count to Strand, a sophomore from Greens Farms High School. So a lot of younger guys on this orange team, 22s and 23s. In fact, that comprises their entire roster. All juniors and sophomores. That one's fouled back. 1-1 the count to Strand. Base is empty, 2 down. Bottom of the first inning. An 82-mile-an-hour fastball from Loonsman. Don't let the youth fool you, though. There are some big guys on this orange team. The next one is fouled straight back. Strand, one of them. He's 6'1". Got a couple of 6'1", 6'2s. There's Loonsman.
Well, anytime you wear that number 99 jersey, you got to fill it out, That's usually reserved for the big boys.
Loonsman also 6'4", 215. The next one is a bounding ball down towards third. Nice peck on the backhand. A long throw, not in time.
Talk about some wheels down the first baseline by Strand. Where did that come from?
And you know what? I know we've talked about it before, because I really don't know if there was any much more that third baseman could have done there. Maybe he comes in and charges it, but if he does, he risks it going over his head, and Strand winds up on second. End of the day, he busted down the line there.
He can move.
It's Owen Arias, the batter. First pitch is a fastball, inner half at the belt for a strike. 0-1 the count to Arias. We've seen runners basically going at will throughout this entire day, so we'll see if Strand, who just showed off some wheels, gives it a shot here. He holds as the pitch now gets by the catcher. And that's going to be a passed ball. Moving Strand to second. Anytime there is an opportunity where the ball doesn't really hit the ground, but then also the catcher could have slid over and blocked instead of trying to backhand catch. Generally speaking, that's a passed ball. The next one is a good fastball outside corner for a strike. 1-2 the count to Arias. Arias out of New Milford High School, as you see it right there. From the stretch. Next one is popped foul up over the top and out of play. Go again from 1-2 to Arias. stretch, and the next one, curveball, swung on and missed. Kind of locked him up, but then he swung anyway, and the side is retired. We go to the second. No score on SFBN. Top half of the second inning, Jamon Sung to lead things off. Facing off against Sam Weber. Both pitchers doing a really nice job in that first inning. The first on the way to Sung is a ground ball out towards short. Fielded cleanly. The throw to first is dropped. It was low, but that should have been picked. What are you going on that, E6 or E3?
That's tough because
okay.
It has to be an E6.
It has to be an E6 just because the official scorer has the discretion to give the error to whomever he wants. It should have been picked, but it also shouldn't have been thrown in the ground.
Right. That's kind of
so. Given that, yeah, we'll go with E6 as the first pitch. I legitimately thought that was going to bounce up over the top and hit the top of our marquee. As the first pitch to Zach Swanger hits him.
And I was not ready for that, so I'm glad it did not because I was not prepared. Not a very big lead by Sung at first base.
First pitch is upstairs for a ball. Well, technically the second pitch. Although I think now it might be, I don't know if they count that as an 0-0 or if they count that as a hit batter and the count starts over, but now it's just fastballs.
I believe it's just fastballs from here on out.
Throw over and just diving back in safely is Sung. So as you mentioned, he didn't have a big lead, but he really made it a close play over at first. The set. The next one hits him again, so now he does go to first. Moving up to second is Sung. And that'll bring up Duncan Weir. From the set. Weber's first to Weir. Fastball that came back over the inner half for a strike, 0-1.
Yeah, late strike call there. Might have been a little high, but late in the day getting those calls is also a different angle for the umpire seeing it from second base.
Give that umpire credit. He has been out there for all four games today.
Tough.
The next one is up high for a ball.
Doing this one by himself as well. That's a full day's work.
Doing the last one and this one on his own after being the base umpire for the first two games. I mean, you want to talk about, we've talked about how many innings we have literally just sat here and talked with each other. He has been standing out in the field, arbitrating the game all four. So he gets all the credit in the world as Weir skies it foul down the left side.
No, that's earning your paycheck right there. That's showing up.
Hopefully for him, he is being handsomely compensated for this. Although, umpires usually get paid pretty well.
Yeah, I wish I would have considered doing that at a younger age. It's never too late, but it is a lot to deal with, though.
The next one is up and away for a ball. 2-2 the count to Weir. Sung at second. He reached on an error. Swanger on first. He was hit by a pitch twice. First time you get hit by a pitch, the count resets, or the ball's reset, and you can only see fastballs. The next one bounces up. Beautiful block there. That one was knocked down in the dirt by Arias. The count goes full at 3-2. I say dirt. It's turf. 3-2. Ball 4, they'll reset the balls. So it's an 0-2 count, and fastballs only coming up to Duncan Weir. From the stretch, the 0-2. Ground ball out towards second. It gets through the second baseman and into right field for a base hit. They're going to hold the runner at third. So Sung stays at third. Everybody advances a base. Swanger to second. Weir on first. The first hit of the inning. I honestly think that dive from Griffin Polly might have cost him. So I think he overdove the ball.
It's always a tough read ranging to your left at second base, though. Glove side, you're never sure, especially on a turf field like this where the ball comes at you a little quicker than normal. Maybe on grass, it's a different read for him, but on turf, that in-between hop.
His first pitch to Jack Wounds is low for a ball, 1-0. Wounds, a 2021 out of State College High School, 6'1", 205. Lefty. As in left-handed stick, left-handed thrower. The next one is hooked foul. Down the first base side, 1-1 to Wounds. That is a nice breeze that just came through. It also helps, we were talking earlier in the day, especially in that second game. So the next one is lifted out into left field, not all that deep. The shortstop going out, and he will make the catch for the first out of the inning. The batter will be Thomas Delahoy. No runs come in to score. And this will be the last batter of the inning. Fifth batter of the inning for Frantz. We were talking, especially in Game 2, when those clouds kind of came in during Game 2, things really kind of cooled off, and there was a nice breeze going on. I think the sun has moved far enough over the top that, and again, we've been grateful for the cover that we've had all day, but I think the sun has moved far enough over the top. The first pitch is over for a strike, 0-1. That it has actually feel like it's cooled off a little bit.
Well, definitely from where we're sitting as well, as we're more in the shadows of these trees. On the field, it's still very bright, most of it, but we are in a nice spot where we're sitting.
The next one is a ground ball to third. Throw over to second in time for the out. Now, you can't assume a double play, but does that run score? We'll find out for you between innings. We head to the bottom of the second, 1-0, or possibly 1-0 Frantz. Bottom half of the second inning, we did confirm that the run does come in to score. It does count, so it is 1-0 Frantz. As it'll be Polly, Matt Buciero, and Charlie Lafreniere to face off against Loonsman. Griffin Polly digs in. First on the way to Polly is fouled back, 0-1.
Polly wearing number -75. Nice little detail there if you catch the back of his jersey. I believe it's 75, but he has a minus sign in front of it, so I don't think I've ever seen that before.
I have never seen that. The next one is dropped into center field for a base hit. I have never seen that.
That might be my favorite jersey so far today. -75.
I wonder if you can get that for sale in your local Models.
It's 75 cents off.
I was gonna. well, I mean, it's gonna be a lot more than that off, considering I think they're going out of business.
It's a
The
shame.
first pitch is inside for a ball to Buciero, Matt Buciero. 1-0 the count.
I did not realize that.
I don't know if it's the whole company or, ooh, that was awfully close to a balk on that move by Loonsman. I don't know if it's the whole company or just the couple that I've seen around me. Throw over, and Polly is back in safely.
There's a Kmart that went out of business near where I'm from. Is Kmart struggling as a brand right now?
Kmart, I thought Kmart did go out.
Did they go out?
Now there might be a couple, kind of like the Blockbuster in Bend, Oregon, which is the one left.
There's a Blockbuster in Bend, Oregon?
The one left in the country.
I guess I gotta get a flight out to Oregon sometime soon, just to live in the nostalgia.
The next one is swung on and missed for a
You weren't expecting to hear that today, were you?
Well, no. You know what made it was the intense, genuine excitement.
Oh man,
you
Blockbuster! Oh, as a kid, I used to rent so many video games.
The next one misses low for a ball. 2-2. You know, it's funny, and I'm sure it's a joke, but I heard a story one time where somebody, was asked for ID at a place, and as they were rummaging through things, a Blockbuster card came out of their wallet as the next one is fouled off. 2-2 the count, holds to Buciero. And the person who was asking for ID, when they saw the Blockbuster card come out, said, "Never mind, you're good."
If you still have a Blockbuster ID, come on, that should count.
You know what, I did up until a couple of years ago, and then I cleaned out my wallet when I switched over and finally got rid of it.
That's a point of identification at the DMV, right? Blockbuster cards.
Yeah, right. Throw over to first, and Polly's back in safely. We keep this up, we're never going to be asked back to work together again.
Amen.
Runner goes, the pitch is bounced up for a ball.
You have to understand, I've spent half my life not hearing the phrase Blockbuster. It's been a while, so that brought back some good memories.
Stolen base for Polly. He's on second and a 3-2 count now. The next pitch misses up. So the count now 0-2.
You know, I once rented MVP Baseball 2005 from there, and that's my favorite baseball video game of all time.
The one with Manny on the cover?
Oh, yes.
Called strike 3. That had some of the best music of any baseball game.
I have that soundtrack on Spotify.
Okay, it's a little bit more dedicated than I am. His batter will be Charlie Lafreniere.
It's the soundtrack of my summers from my childhood, man. I love those songs.
First pitch to Lafreniere is low for a ball.
That was a good baseball series, the EA Sports take on it. They just stopped doing it after college baseball 06.
I enjoyed college baseball 06.
I did too. It's just a shame that the series didn't continue for whatever. I forget the reason why they stopped doing baseball.
So the next one is low for a ball.
I'm pretty sure 2K bought the exclusive rights for Major League Baseball. I don't know if that's accurate, but I think it was something along those lines.
You know, it's interesting that you mentioned that game, because we were talking about uniquely walled stadiums earlier. As the ground ball out towards third. Look the runner back, throw over to first, return throw to third is dropped. Boy, if that had been caught, he would have been out for the final out of the inning. as it is. Polly moves up to third. Lafreniere grounds out 5-3. And it'll bring up Drew Busiero. So we were talking again those unusually walled ballparks, the original Yankee Stadium, Sportsman Park, the Polo Grounds, all of those. You remember in college baseball 06, you could design your own stadiums. The first pitch is over for a strike with a curveball, nothing in one.
The funny thing is, we were talking about Tampa Bay Rays. I used to play in MVP Baseball 05 as the Tampa Bay Rays, and I hate the Trop. I'm not a fan of the Trop at all. And they had custom stadium in that game as well. So I'd try to build a custom stadium for the Rays. Problem was, the only team that could succeed with the custom stadium was the Yankees, because you had to finance it. And
right.
The Rays just would never finance it after 2 years for upgrades.
The next one is low for a ball, 1-2 to Busiero. So I actually, you want to talk about a stadium that had an unusual center field wall, I kind of fashioned my outfield wall after a sombrero.
Really?
So it kind of curved and then just had this like massive spike in center field. So that one misses up and in. 2-2, the count to Drew Busiero. So I think it was like regular dimensions and then 480 to straightaway center.
Yeah, I think in college baseball you had more leeway with the outfield setup and how you could pick the fences.
So that one is fouled off. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The count remains to Dan Busiero. My apologies. I was thinking of his backup catcher for a long time in the big leagues, Drew Butera. That's where the Drew, when I was saying Drew Busiero, came from. So it's Dan. Dan Busiero here. 3-2 the count. Runner on third. The next one is sliced foul. First base side out of play. Count remains 3-2.
Yeah, the Drew that comes to mind for me in baseball is Drew Pomeranz. I'm trying to think if I know any other Drews.
Well, it was the BU beginning of the last name that kind of triggered that. The next one is a curveball called strike 3, and the side is retired. We go to the third, 1-0 Frantz. Third inning, Zach Wurzel into the game to pitch for Connecticut, 1-0 Frantz. As it'll be Ethan Shimoni to lead things off. First pitch is a ball. 1-0 the count to Shimoni. It's the 1-0. Down and away for a ball, 2-0. Umpire switching sides with the left-handed batter up to get a better view of where the ball is going across the plate. The 2-0 is smacked out into center field. And will be down for a base hit. So Shimoni with a leadoff single. We'll bring up Drew Morschbacher. That is not an easy name to fit on the back of a jersey.
I'm a fan, though.
It's a great name. I'm saying it's not easy to fit on the back of a jersey. So next one is sliced foul, left field side, 0-1.
I believe the longest name in, Major League Baseball history was Saltalamacchia. You could double check me on that, but I think Jared Saltalamacchia is the longest last name on a baseball jersey.
I'm not going to argue with you on that one. The next one is over for a strike, 0-2 on Morschbacher.
Just an obscure fact from my childhood of watching.
You're looking that up now, aren't you?
I am. You gotta fact check yourself.
The 0-2 is lifted into left field. Shortstop going out. Left fielder coming in. Left fielder makes the catch.
It is indeed Saltalamacchia. 14 characters. And I'm not even going to attempt to spell it, even with it right in front of me. That's just too many opportunities to mess up.
I'm thinking it now.
Saltalamacchia? If you get it, that could be today's trivia question for you. Not today's, this game's trivia question.
It's Chris Forstmeyer, the batter. From the stretch. Fastball is over for a strike, 0-1 the count. Said 14, right?
14 letters.
The next one is fouled back, 0-2. You have it up there?
I have it right in my hand.
All right. Saltalamacchia, Saltalamacchia, Saltalamacchia.
That is correct. Can you use it in a sentence?
Jared Saltalamacchia never lived up to his hitting potential.
Oh, wow.
Yes, it is called strike 3.
He had a couple good years in Texas and Boston.
Not to the level that he was projected to be when he came up with Atlanta. It's Isaac Oldham, the batter. 2 down in the inning. Runner remains on first. Runner goes, pitches inside for a ball, and no throw. And a wise no throw, I believe, in that situation. That's one where the jump was just so incredibly huge. All that could have happened would have been that the best that could have been happened is that ball would have been kept on the infield.
That's playing baseball from the shoulders up.
The next one cut on and missed for a strike. 1-1 the count to Oldham. Spin back, and time was called beforehand anyway. Definitely is kind of an interesting interpretation right now with the single umpire behind the plate, and you see how players are used to having certain things. Oldham there turned to call time to a home plate umpire who wasn't behind him.
Right.
You know, under normal circumstances, you would absolutely have the home plate umpire there. Stretch. 2-1. Swing and a miss. Again, really good downward action from Weber on those pitches.
Yeah, getting on top of the ball. Nice late break. Even to his fastball.
Weber sets. Runner goes. 2-2 is high for a ball. No throw. 2 stolen bases for Shimoni. And the count is now full at 3-2. Three-two is popped to the backstop. Go again from 3-2 to Shimoni. And again, I want to apologize. This is not Weber. We did mention the new pitcher when the inning began. This is and need to take a quick peek. Zach Warzel, my apologies. We did mention that at the beginning of the inning. Both pitchers we've seen for Connecticut so far as this lefty misses inside ball four, so the count will reset to 0-2 and only fastballs. But they both had some good downward action, some good late life and sink to their fastballs. Wurzel seems to have a little bit of a better curveball. The next one, swing and a miss, strike three. And the side is retired. 2 strikeouts for Wurzel in the inning. We go to the bottom of the third, 1-0 Frantz. New pitcher on the mound for Frantz as Josh Berger takes the hill. He'll be facing Will Eustace, Philip Staltzer, and Cole Dickinson. The first pitch to Eustace is a strike, 0-1. Eustace from Fairfield Ward High School. A couple of high schools in Fairfield, Connecticut, as the next one is lifted to the screen. 0-2, the count to Eustace. There's a lot of high numbers on this Connecticut Orange team. They have only 3 numbers that are below 35 on the roster. The next one is smacked out towards second, 2 hops. Up with it and on to first is Weir. And there's one away for Philip Stalzer.
I'm a fan of the high numbers. Somebody's got to make them popular.
Oh, no, I'm not. It was more an observation. It wasn't a complaint. It was definitely just an observation. Just, kind of, you don't normally see a lot of numbers that high.
I will say there are just some large numbers that just don't look good at all, no matter who wears them. That's my opinion. I'm not going to name any numbers, not to call anybody out.
87.
Unless you're a tight end going over the middle.
Well, all right, fine.
But in a baseball setting,
okay,
I agree with you.
I was going to say in hockey, no. The next one is fouled off.
Well, I wonder who that's in reference to.
You know where I live. 1-1, the count to Stalzer. Bases empty and 1 out.
I'm not a big hockey guy. Who wears 87?
Guy from the other team in the state. as that one hits Stalzer. So it'll be an 0-1 count.
Now you talk about a man move right there. Stalzer getting beamed in the back, picking the ball up and flipping it back to the pitcher, stepping back into the box. That is a grown man move.
No batting gloves for Stalzer either.
Old school.
You know, who is it who does that?
Jorge Posada?
Thank you. And stance is similar too.
Actually, that's true.
I mean, they're both catcher. What number did Posada wear?
20.
Okay. That's right. The number that's retired for the greatest third baseman in the history of the game.
Wow.
The next one is high and away for a ball, at least retired in Philly. And
Craig Meadows was pretty good, though. I hope you know I'm joking.
If you had said Brooks Robinson or George
Brett. I mean, I was going to say Brooks Robinson, George Brett are in that argument for me. It's just personally what you prefer. Obviously, Schmidt's the best combination of offense-defense.
Okay, but I mean, I guess what I would say with that is the next one is up high for a ball, 3-1 the count to Stalzer. What I would say to that is George Brett may have been a better pure hitter.
Right.
With some power. Brooks Robinson might be the best defensive third baseman ever.
Exactly.
16 gold gloves. The next one is swung on and missed strike 3.
Schmidt, the whole package, though, as a power hitter.
548 homers, a 270 batting average, 1,500 RBI. I know, by the way, he won 10 gold gloves.
A couple MVPs as well. Look, I'm not arguing Mike Schmidt's not the greatest third baseman ever.
3 MVP awards.
But
who's counting?
Only one of 9 players to ever do that.
Including one at age 37.
That's pretty ridiculous.
His first pitch is over for a strike. 0-1 the count to Cole Dickinson, one of the few guys who wears a number under 35. That one is off the fist up the middle, picked up by the shortstop. The throw to first is in time for the out, and the side is retired. We go to the 4th. 1-0 Frantz. Top half of the 4th inning, it'll be Jack Loonsman to lead things off. Loonsman started off the game as the pitcher, pitched very well through his 2 innings of work. Allowed 1 hit, but struck out 4. Wurzel's first on the way to Loonsman. It's a fastball on the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. Lined and the 0-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. As mentioned, Loonsman is a big guy, 6'4", 215. He's only a junior, or will be this year, graduating 2022. So next one misses outside for a ball. 1-2 to Loonsman.
And with his stance, I wish he stood a little bit taller, utilized that height. He's a little crouched for his size.
I can definitely see that. The next one down and in for a ball.
He's got the frame to be able to poke on it to that warning track, if not fence.
You know, it makes you wonder because a lot of guys who are tall that have a crouched stance went through growth spurts.
Right.
You know, and they're used to kind of crouching so they can take advantage of being small and shrink the strike zone as the next pitch is swung on and missed strike 3. So you kind of, and I wonder if that may have happened there.
No, it's a good point.
And that'll bring up Drew Balestrini.
Also don't want to make the assumption, but Loonsman did start the game on the mound, so perhaps a pitcher only getting a rare at bat here, but
Possible. And he is actually listed as just a pitcher, not like pitcher first base, pitcher outfield. So something that he might not have a ton of experience with, you're right. His first pitch to Balestrini is low for a ball, 1-0. The next one is down. 2-0, the count to Balestrini. The windup and the 2-0. Taken out into left field, going the opposite way and got a lot of it. That's going to take one hop and bounce the fence. Balestrini rounding second, not slowing at all. He's going to make it into third in cruise control. A triple with one out for Balestrini into the left center field gap. And Frantz looking to threaten to make this a 2 or more run game.
and to give the viewers at home a chance to understand how fast Balestrini was flying around the bases, I looked at where the ball landed, looked at him rounding first base, and I started writing down 3B on my scorecard because I had no doubt in my mind he was getting all the way to third uncontested.
Pitcher Berger comes up as the infield moves in. First on the way to Berger. He is over for a strike, 0-1. And the thing was, he didn't look like he was running all that hard. It just looked like a very easy gait and glide over to third base. He has got some wheels. The next one is low for a ball. 1-1 the count. You like this bringing the infield in?
It's an aggressive look, mixes in the opportunities these defenders get.
It's popped over the first base dugout and out of play.
I know it's a showcase format, so you're not necessarily trying too aggressively to win here, but you also want to give your guys an opportunity to prepare themselves for seeing these situations later on in their high school, if not college or professional careers.
That's a really good point. The stretch. The 1-2. Grounded right to the third baseman who knocks it down. The throw to first is in time, and bringing the infield in works as Balestrini has to hold. 2 down, and it'll bring up Maddox Delana. Delana a ground out to short his first time up. Now with 2 outs, the infield can move back.
See, this is where you got to play them up, when they're least expecting it, right?
Curveball drops in over the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. Delana was definitely not expecting that first pitch hook.
Yeah, and obviously joking, by the way. You don't play the infield up with 2 outs. This isn't MLB The Show.
Next one is outside for a ball, 1-1. Need to get a PS5 so I can actually. And that's it's kind of on the list of, okay, what are we going to get for ourselves for the holidays this year? Because don't get me wrong, I enjoy my MLB The Show 15, but it's 15.
Fair enough.
The next one is outside for a ball, 2-1. The count to Delana.
I'm not much of a gamer, but my brother has a PS4 and he plays The Show every day. He plays on rookie mode. I think he hits about 100 home runs a season with his My Player.
At least play pro.
That's what I'm saying.
The next one is fouled. Now I'll grant you, All-Star is a little still beyond my level, but I also don't play multiple games a day.
Yeah, I think he just likes the thrill of hitting home runs. You know, it is pretty cool in that game. They allow you to talk smack to other players too. That's like the cool. Yeah, it's really cool.
It's the 2-2 down and away for a ball, as in like you're speaking to somebody live in a virtual setting,
that as well, but also
you can record.
You can like say things, and you'll celebrate a certain way while you run the bases, or it's interesting. It really is.
I mean, I got as far as customizing walk-up music. The next one is Sky down the left side, and that will be out of play. No, it was caught. So from my vantage, I have a lot of dark poles in front of me, and that was caught for the final out of the inning. We go to the bottom of the fourth, 1-0 Frantz. New pitcher for the game. New pitcher into the game for Frantz is Maddox Delana. He'll be facing the 12-1-2 hitters. Niven Bellinger to lead things off. The first pitch to Bellinger. It's fouled straight back. 0-1 the count.
Nice reaction by Kennedy in the on-deck circle, ducking out of the way of the ricochet coming off the fence.
Delana. Next one down and in. That caught him on the back foot. Trying to walk it off right now. Berger threw 1 inning. Only threw 8 pitches, so kind of wonder if he might be in the works to throw again tomorrow. And Kennedy's going to come up here. I think they're going to reset the count and take a look at Berger here. Or Bellinger, excuse me. Bellinger, I don't think, was in the field. So Kennedy's going to come up. It's like the at-bat to Bellinger never happened, as the first pitch is outside for a ball to Kennedy, 1-0. Obviously, we hope that everything's okay with Bellinger and he's able to take his turn at bat next time around. The next one outside for a ball. 2-0, the count to Kennedy.
Yeah, it looked like it was just a stinger down below at the lower part of the leg near the ankle. So he's running up and down the left field line to get that sting out.
It's a 2-0 foul back, 2-1. what it is to sustain a little bit of pain and then be jogging 30 seconds later.
Yeah. Well, it's tough, though. I mean, it's tough to get hit by a pitch, though, and then be expected to get back in the box and hit again, right, in this game. So that's kind of why he sauntered off and wanted to make sure he was okay.
Wow, that had some giddy up on it. 2-2, the count now on Kennedy. Yeah, that or just hit the pocket perfectly because it was 2 miles an hour less than the previous pitch. The 2-2, down and away for ball, and it's full of 3-2. I'm more afraid of the fact that, you get up there a little bit in years, and all of a sudden you sleep 1 inch out of place, and your neck is so far out of whack you can't move. The 3-2. Fastball is up and away, so the count will reset to 0-2, and Delano will have to throw nothing but fastballs here, which shouldn't be too much of a problem. 4 of the 6 pitches so far have been fastballs. 1-2 the count now.
Talk about neck being out of whack after a night's sleep. I'm starting to feel that already.
Next one, swing and a miss, strike 3.
Not today, but I'll have my days.
I think Bellinger is going to come back up now.
Well,
so here, that is the absolute best news.
So does Kennedy come back after this, though?
I would assume
obviously not.
But this is the absolute best news. The Bellinger, less than 2 minutes afterward, is fine and ready to rock again.
He was fine 30 seconds after. Just wanted to give his man Kennedy the chance to swing with some fresh legs up there.
The 1-0 is a ground ball towards the middle. That'll sneak through for a base hit. So Bellinger with a 1-out single. That'll bring up Oppenheimer.
Interesting. He's got batting gloves in his back pocket, and he's wearing batting gloves.
That is interesting. Maybe they're running gloves.
You never know.
That one, I actually think that hit his bat.
It did. That's a foul ball.
That's a foul ball. 0-1 the count on Oppenheimer.
Some people like to hold on to their batting gloves while they run the bases so that they don't jam their wrists.
And maybe that's exactly what happened with him. That he's going to use the ones in the back pocket to run the bases. Or, damn fingers diving head first. The next one is over for a strike. 0-2 the count on Oppenheimer. I said, they might be running gloves. I mean, after all. Didn't Willie Mays Hayes buy 100 of them? One for every base he was going to steal?
Something like that. That's a great movie.
The next one, cut on and missed for strike 3. So climbing the ladder there is Delana for his second strikeout, and the batter will be Joel Strand.
You mentioned Willie Mays Hayes. I watched that movie, Major League, right before Game 7 of the 2016 World Series, and I was pulling for the Cubs for years, but that was tough to root against the Indians that night.
His first pitch is over for a strike, 0-1. I actually saw Major League 3 in a movie theater.
Major League 3 Back to the Minors is an underrated classic. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's one of my favorite baseball movies, like top 5.
I was more saying the fact that I actually saw it in a movie theater.
So I'm assuming you don't think it's that good.
It's not spend the money in a movie theater good. As
definitely not.
Ripped out into center field, runner heading for third, and Bellinger will make it in there safely. And it actually goes into the dugout. So the runner will come around to score. He made it to third, and then the E8 allows him to score on the overthrow into the dugout. And it'll be a single for Strand. And he'll take second on the throw. Bring up the catcher, Owen Arias. So we're knotted up at 1 apiece. Curveball over the outside corner for a strike, 0-1.
What is your favorite baseball movie? There's a lot of options putting you on the spot here, but
So runner goes for third, throw down to third, goes into left field, backed up by the shortstop. One and one, the count to Arias. You see how I'm stalling for time here?
it puts you in a tough spot, especially with 2 outs. And this is the
And this is the fifth batter.
This is the last batter. You're in a tough spot. You know what? Let's come back in the next half of the.
I'll tell you what. Let's talk about this in the 9th inning.
9. We're going 9. That's a surprise to me.
Exactly. We're only going 7. From the line, the 2-1. Outside for a ball, and it's 3-1. So I'm saying we're only going 7 innings. So let's talk about it in the 9th.
Is there an Air Bud baseball movie?
There's gotta be.
I've never seen the Air Buds, but
The next one is upstairs, ball 4. So we go back to 0-1. From the stretch. This one is down and away, 1-1. I don't know if I'd call it my favorite. And honestly, Major League might be my favorite. I don't know if I'd call it a favorite, but a movie that I really enjoy is a baseball movie. Mr. Baseball.
oh, it's a classic.
With Tom Selleck.
Yeah.
I actually had that movie shown to me in a sociology class in college as an example of culture shock. So next one, cut on and missed. 2-2 the count to Arias. Took a little bit off of that one. Arias a step in front of it. Next one up and away for a ball. 3-2 the count to Arias. So if you walk a guy with a runner on, if you walk the final batter of the inning with a runner in scoring position, that runner counts, right?
That is correct. That runner comes across, at least from the rules we were given from a couple tournaments ago.
Okay, so that is then ball 4. The inning should be over, and that run should count then because the runner on third, in theory, comes in to score. We'll get clarification. We head to the 5th here in Dunmore. So we do get the ruling on that one that it is a run for Connecticut Orange. So they now do lead it 2-1. So we got a new pitcher into the game.
Yeah, this is not your father's baseball rules.
Well, neither is putting a runner on second to begin the 10th inning. But here's the thing. I've liked that for a long time in softball, and I'm glad that that's actually coming up as the new pitcher in the game for Connecticut Orange is Ian Waring.
I was listening to a couple people make the point, too. Ironically, it brings old school baseball back to the regular season.
It does. The next one is swung on and missed. 1-1 the count. Well, here's the thing. It brings the National League game back.
Right.
A lot of people are complaining, okay, well, now that you have the universal DH, which, again, I'm not opposed to. I will miss pitchers hitting. I will miss the concept of the sacrifice a lot of the time. So next one is a curveball up and in. 2-1 the count to Jamon Song. But I think it brings a little bit of that old school mentality, that National League mentality of sacrificing back. Is that one right back on one hop to Waring? Trots a quarter of the way to first base before lobbing it over for the first out of the inning. One down, and it brings up Zach. Flip my roster over. Zach Swanger. Okay, so this is what happens. I cannot read my own handwriting. This is why I do games electronically. Unfortunately, electronic scorebooks don't let you put 12 and 13 batters in. Swanger was hit by a pitch his first time off. Technically hit by a pitch twice.
Always fun. Always fun.
So he looks at a ball, 1-0.
He just wants to get that bat off his shoulder.
And he does there, fouling it off. 1-1 the count.
That wound's self-inflicted.
But I do like putting that runner on second for a couple of reasons. One, again, it introduces the idea of, do you bunt the runner over to third? It forces maybe the infield to come in with one out and a runner on third in extra innings. That one is lifted into shallow right center field. Right fielder goes over and makes the catch for the second out of the inning. 2 down. And brings up Duncan Weir.
I agree with you. The fact that guys can't bunt in Major League Baseball, and you have lefties where if you lay a bunt down, you'll bat 500. It just irks me as somebody who grew up with the fundamentals. And look, I was a great bunter, not a great hitter, but come on, man.
His first pitch is over for a strike, nothing in one. Honestly, you look at it, Bryce Harper will bunt every now and then against the shift to try to keep the shift honest. So next one is a 100 hopper out towards second, up with it, fire to first. A little bit wide, but the first baseman holds the bag, and a quick 1-2-3 inning for Waring. We head to the bottom of the fifth, 1-1. 2-1, Orange. possibly my favorite name of the entire day on the mound now for Frantz as Eric Beagle enters the contest. He'll be facing Griffin Polly, Matt Buciero, and Charlie Lafreniere. The first on the way to Polly is low for a ball, 1-0. Polly singled and stole second his first time up. Beagle's a big guy out there. 6'3", 250 as that one is popped up foul. 1-1 the count to Griffin Polly. Two to 1, Orange on top. The next one is foul back, 1-2 the count. Again, that run does come into score from third when there is a walk to the final batter of the inning. That's the rules of how it works. And again, the scoreboard hasn't updated it, so that's kind of why we made the mistake at the end of the inning saying that it was 1-1. It is 2-1. So the next pitch is a curveball popped up right side. Second baseman under it and puts it away for the first out of the inning. One down, and that'll bring up Matt Buciero. Buciero called out on strikes his first time up. It's the first on the way to Buciero. It's a fastball that misses low. 1-0 the count. Beagle from the windup, working from the first base side of the rubber. Kicks and fires. Taken foul, right side. A chase being given by the right fielder. But that ball will go out of play.
Beagle's coming out. He's not throwing crazy hard, but he's right around the zone.
The 1-1. Upstairs for a ball, 2-1. And sometimes you don't necessarily need to throw all that hard if you've been following a pitcher who has thrown hard. Just the difference in styles can throw batters off. Now, obviously, it's a little bit of a different scenario here. The next one is upstairs for a ball, 3-1. It's a little bit of a different scenario here, being that it's a showcase. You've got 12 batters who are pitching. You're going to have 4, 5, 6 guys throw in a game. So you know that every single time you're going to face somebody new. So you haven't been watching the same pitcher out there. So next one is over for a strike, 3-2. So you haven't been watching the same pitcher out there inning after inning after inning after inning. But it is interesting to see somebody with a different style come in after somebody who throws a little harder. The next one is a fister out towards short. Throw on to first. He is just in time for the out. 2 down, and it'll bring up Charlie Lafreniere. Grounded out to third, his first time up. It's from the line, the first on the way. Breaking ball down low. 1-0 the count. Has started with a first pitch ball to all 3 hitters he's faced this inning. Has been able to come back and get the first 2 outs of the inning. 1-0. Smacked out into center field. A late break, but recovering, and the center fielder makes the catch for the final out of the inning. We head to the 6th, 2-1 Orange. Top of the 6th, 2-1 Orange. Ian Waring still out on the mound for the Connecticut Orange squad. We facing Jack Woons. Lead things off. Woons popped out to short his first time up. Waring, the lanky right-hander, delivers his first. Fastball outer half for a strike, 0-1. Stretch. And the 0-1. Breaking ball. This is low. 1-1 the count to Woons. At the ready, the 1-1. Fastball outside, 2-1.
Getting later in the day now. That sun's starting to fade beyond the trees. Shadows haven't crept on the field yet.
This next one is outside for a ball.
That's always where it gets tricky for hitters, right? It's when those shadows start to creep in and it's between you and the pitcher. Ball coming in and out of the light.
Absolutely. The 3-1 into shallow right field. Catch is made for the first out of the inning. One down. You know, that is one thing I really like out of Arias. He is a vocal catcher who is not afraid to take command on the field.
Catcher and the shortstop should be your two most vocal defensive players. Catcher involved in every play. He's calling every pitch for your man on the mound for your squad. And then anytime there's a ball in the infield, you know, you want your shortstop to be vocal. Ball in the outfield as well, commanding where the cuts are coming from. You want your shortstop to be the guy vocalizing stuff. You want your catcher relaying those things as well.
Delahoy, the batter, looks at a strike, 1-1 the count. He's driven in the only run of the game thus far for Frantz. That was back in the second on a fielder's choice. The 1-1. Popped up on the left side. Waring getting called off by his third baseman. And indeed it is Dan Buciero who makes the catch for the second out. 2 down, and it'll bring up Ethan Shimone.
Yeah, pitcher should never, and I say hardly ever, catch a pop fly in the infield. Only time is if it's a sputter of a ball right back to him.
First one is outside for a ball, 1-0. Pitcher not being willing to catch a pop-up cost him a perfect game in a game I saw in 2007.
No, man, I'm trying to remember the exact name, but I know what you're referencing.
You know a Florida State League game from 2007 between who was it? Was Vero Beach and who was the Brewers affiliate? Brevard County. 2-0 was outside for a ball, 3-0.
Only reason I know is because I had somebody who relayed that story to me, and I don't know if I've seen it on video or just heard the story from somebody who played in that exact league. But I've heard a story like that.
So that one is skied out into center field. Catch is made, inning over. We head to the bottom of the 6th, 2-1 Orange. Bottom of the 6th inning, 2-1 Orange on top. Eric Beagle remains on the mound. It'll be Dan Busiero, Will Eustace. And then Philip Stalzer face off against Beagle. It's the first on the way. Fastball over for a strike. 0-1 the count to Busiero. With this being the 6th and everybody not having had 2 at-bats, even if Orange holds on to the lead through the bottom of the 7th inning, would not be surprised, or through the top of the 7th inning, would not necessarily be surprised to see a bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, and a couple weeks ago in Stroudsburg, we saw the last 2 teams of the day play 8 innings. So never know if these two teams want to get guys at bats towards the tail end of this game.
So next one is swung on and missed for a strike. 1-2 the count to Dan Busiero. And yes, we are getting the name right this time, Dan. We apologize. I apologize. I was the one who was saying it wrong before, so. The 1-2. Down the first base side, foul.
Nice piece of protective hitting, though. He took a curveball on the inner half of the plate and shoved it down the right field line. Way to stay inside of it.
That ball kind of rolls its way back to Beagle on the mound. Into the windup. 1-2 is a bouncer back to Beagle. He'll throw it on to first. 1 away. You know, for somebody who hasn't thrown exceptionally hard, he's had good enough command, and he's done a nice job of getting weak contact. So it brings up Will Eustace.
Look, a lot of pitching is a matter of getting the ball to be put in play. Pitch to contact, right? Especially later in games. You want to let your defense make plays.
The first on the way to Eustace. Fouled in and out of the mid of the catcher. Shimoni back behind the plate. 0-1 the count to Eustace.
There's no worse feeling as a defensive player in the game of baseball than sitting back on your heels waiting for your pitcher to get strikes over that zone. It's a lonely feeling out there. So to be able to consistently be around the zone is a huge asset.
So next one swung on and missed strike 2. 0-2 the count to Eustace. Stalls are waiting on deck. The wind. The 0-2. Curveball misses just low. Maybe also a tick outside.
Great spot, though. Sets up a lot of other pitches he can go to now. He located that well. He can, because he missed low, go high. He can go inside. Has a lot of options.
The 1-2. A little bit too low.
Yeah, and it looked like they were trying to set up a fastball on the inner half of the plate there. I don't even think it was supposed to be low, but he just spiked it. So 2 pitches in a row now in the bottom half of the zone. This is where you have to mix height.
2-2. Hit out into center field, and it's going to hang up for the second out of the inning. 2 down, and it'll bring up Philip Stalzer. Stalzer struck out his first time up. Really, outside of the second inning for Frantz and outside of the 4th inning for Orange, pitchers have really owned this particular game. It's first on the way to Stalzer. Fastball misses inside. 1-0 the count. Now, of course, as soon as I say that, he's going to throw 3 in a row out of the zone, just like as soon as I said that I've been really impressed by the defense, there was an error. But I'm telling you, there is no such thing as a broadcaster jinx. The next pitch is a fastball on the inside corner. Thank you very much for proving that, Mr. Beagle. 1-1 the count to Stalzer. Wind and the 1-1. Off the fists on the right side. Second baseman and shortstop converge. Second baseman the call and the catch. And the side is retired. We go to the 7th, 2-1 Orange. Top half of the 7th inning, 2-1 Orange on top, and it'll be Morschbacher to lead things off. Now, one thing that we were looking ahead at, there are 2 batters in the Orange lineup who have not hit twice. Cole Dickinson and Nevin Bellinger. So we're going to stick here after the inning is over to see if Frantz takes the field again so those 2 can hit, or whether or not they're going to end the game, as there's 2 balls that just converged out of the middle of nowhere. Now, there are 4 batters for Frantz who have not hit twice. However, one of them was their starting pitcher, Loonsman, who, again, is only listed as a pitcher on their roster, so I don't know how important it would be for him to get a second plate appearance. So we'll see.
Well,
Morschbacher flew out to left his first time up.
If I'm Loonsman, I'm begging for that chance, but, you know, I don't know how much weight that his opinion pulls here.
Wearing out there for a 3rd inning as his first offering is swung on and missed. First pitch changeup. I've heard differing viewpoints on a first pitch off-speed pitch.
I'm a fan.
Well, and, you know, the argument for it is there's no way a batter's looking for it, as that one is smoked foul. 0-2 the count. The flip side of it is the whole point of an off-speed pitch is to throw the batter's timing off. And so if you haven't thrown a fastball beforehand, what are you changing up from?
Well, I would argue it makes your fastball even more difficult to hit. That would be my point.
The next one is grounded foul, third base side. We'll go again from 0-2.
Especially if it's not your first pitch of the ball game, and you know guys are coming back saying, "Hey, he's giving me that first pitch fastball in the outer half," and you're expecting that as a hitter. You see a changeup that messes you up.
And I'm fine with it. I was just throwing out there that this, you know, these are some of the schools of thought that I've heard on it. I'm fine with it personally. So next one is grounded. That is also foul.
I will say I do also have. I apply this theory to it. If you can have a hitter who hits your fastball, right, consistently, and you're worried that if you give him a first pitch fastball, he's going to go gap to gap, all right, throw him a first pitch off-speed pitch. But if you got a guy who can't touch your fastball, there's no reason to ever show him an off-speed pitch unless he fouls one straight back and just misses one. You know what I'm saying? No reason to show off a pitch that you don't need if he can't touch your fastball.
The next one is a curveball up high, 1-2. You know, if you get weak contact on it, great. Or you wind up starting the guy in an 0-1 hole because you saw exactly what happened with Morschbacher there where he swung through it. The 1-2. Inside for ball, and it's 2-2. This makes me think of Rick Vaughn, you know. Get anything on this pitch? You know, my arm feels like jello. Don't worry, I want him to hit it. You know, last time I did that, the guy hit one that hasn't landed yet. Outside, and from 0-2 with a couple of foul balls, it's now full at 3-2. Again, if you're throwing a first pitch changeup, though, you're not looking for a guy necessarily to put the ball in play. The 2-2. Inside, so it goes back to 0-2. Fastball all the way throughout now for Waring. The next one is high for a ball, 1-2. From the stretch, 1-2. Down and in, 2-2.
And I'll tell you what, this is the area of the ball game where I mentioned slightly earlier, shadows start to creep in, but give credit to whoever designed this field. No shadows whatsoever on the field at this point.
2-2. Upstairs for a ball, and it's 3-2. So after an 0-2 count and 2 foul balls, this is now 7 pitches in a row out of the zone.
Well, it's the benefit of a 8-ball count for these pitchers here at this showcase.
It's from the stretch. The 3-2 again. Upstairs, ball 4, and that time it is a walk. She gets second base for that, for a double walk.
And this is a time where, I know social distancing applies, but if I'm in the middle infield, especially if I'm a shortstop, I'm calling time to have a chat. I mean, I know this is where the mound visit rules and how that changes baseball come into effect, but when a guy throws 8 consecutive pitches out of the zone, you got to slow him down and change his rhythm.
Throw over to first, and Morschbacher back in safely as Chris Forstmeyer, the batter. The next one is a ground ball picked by the third baseman over to second for 1. Return throw to first is not in time, so it'll be a fielder's choice. 5-4 on the out at second. I'll bring up Isaac Oldham. Oldham a fly out to center his first time up.
And barring a double play, the pitcher-only Loonsman's going to get another crack at the bat here.
His first pitch is upstairs for a ball, 1-0. That's fine.
I'm excited for it.
Everybody gets 2 chances. Waring. The 1-0, fastball over for a strike, 1-1. Stretch. And the 1-1 is over the inside corner for a strike, 1-2 the count. At the ready, the 1-2. This is below the knees, 2-2 the count.
Tough spot to miss right there, right down at the knees. But that's the idea. If you get a better swing at that, you got your middle infield back in double play depth.
The 2-2. Lifted down the left field line. That'll drop in for a base hit. So 2 on and 1 out. It'll bring up Loonsman. Well, this could make things interesting. Loonsman struck out his first time up. Waring sets. First on the way to Loonsman.
Ooh.
Good hack.
Going for it all.
Fouls it off. 0-1 the count to Loonsman.
Talk about trying to help your cause. I know we used that phrase earlier today.
Loonsman was the starting pitcher. The next one is a fastball on the inside half for strike 2. 0-2 the count to Loonsman.
Now with Ballestrini on deck, I do want to get another look at him at the plate. He hit a triple to the fence in his last appearance.
And again, just glided around to third. The 0-2. Little nubber foul. Bouncing it off the plate.
I'll tell you what, if he comes up with 2 outs, you just, anything in play, just let him run. Let him run until he's tagged out. Doesn't matter, he's the 5th batter of the inning. That's
a
what
very
I'm
good
saying.
point.
Give the scouts what they came here to see.
And tack on as many runs as you can heading into the bottom of the inning. So the next one is popped up. Foul up over the top. 0-2 the count holds to Loonsman. The 0-2. Curveball hit him. That's going to remain 0-2. The only difference being it's nothing but fastballs.
That one got him in a sweet spot. And you hear him saying to his teammates in the dugout, "Hit me square in the bones."
That's never comfy. Always seems to find those spots. That's like when you're a catcher. It always finds that like 4-inch area right above the shin guard where there's no protection. As that one is ripped down to third. Step on the bag for one. Throw over to first is in time for the double play. So we will hang here and see if indeed Orange comes to bat and gets those last two batters a couple of plate appearances, and it does look like Frantz is going to take the field. So we'll step aside and come back in a moment on SFBN. Bottom half of the seventh inning. The game is already decided. Orange will come away with a 2-1 win. However, there are a couple of players on Orange who have yet to get two at-bats in the game, so Jack Woons will come onto the mound for Frantz in order to be able to get those couple of guys there at-bats, as Dickinson and Bellinger have not had two at-bats in the contest. Cole Dickinson will head to the plate. Dickinson a ground out to short his first time up. Woons. Winds. First pitch is on the outer half for a strike, 0-1. Wind and the 0-1 is a fastball outside, 1-1. From the windup, 1-1. Lifted into shallow left. Shortstop goes out and makes the catch for the first out of the inning. One down, that'll bring up Nevin Bellinger. Bellinger had an interesting at-bat. He was hit on the foot by a pitch, had to come out. So then Chris Kennedy wound up coming in. Bellinger ran it off, came back, singled, and wound up scoring the game-tying run.
Yeah, he hit that single right on the screws back up the middle, so a good way to bounce back from the pain of taking one off the ankle.
His first pitch is high for a ball, 1-0. The next pitch is a check swing. Doesn't matter. Called a strike at the knees. 1-1. The windup and the 1-1. Bounces past the catcher, Shimoni. 2-1 the count to Bellinger. The next one is smack back up the middle for a base hit. So he's 2 for 2.
And 2 hits right back where they came from. To be able to hit the ball directly back up the middle, that's perfect. I know we talk about home runs a lot and launch angles, but when I was brought up, you were taught you hit it right back up the middle, you hit that pitching machine, that's free ice cream on whoever's coaching you.
Kennedy will be the batter. First pitch outside for a ball, 1-0. No, you're right. I mean, that is, home runs will happen. Line drives are what you want. Step off throw to first, and Bellinger back in safely.
We were talking about this between innings earlier in the day, and Scott Rowland, a former Philly, former St. Louis Cardinal, he used to say, home runs that I hit are an accident. I'm trying to hit gap doubles, and if they happen to go over the fence, so be it.
So next one is high and away for a ball. 2-0.
The goal of a great hitter is to go left center field gap to right center field gap on a line, hit it hard somewhere in that area.
Well, Mike Schmidt said something similar. When he said that the less I tried to hit home runs, the more home runs I actually hit.
Right. Then you have people like Mickey Mantle, though, who gets asked, "Hey, did you ever try to hit a home run?" He said, "Yeah, every time I swung." So, which I also do believe.
This next one is upstairs, ball 4. Make it 0-0. And it's not really much different. Wounds has only thrown fastballs anyway. From the stretch. 1-0.
At this stage in the day, it's get me over fastball time. Just get it over the plate. Let your defense play. There's not a game on the line. Let's see if these guys can get the ball, put the ball into different parts for your defense.
Runner goes as it's fouled off. 1-1 the count to Kennedy.
Keep your fielders awake. Stay around the strike zone. That's all you really want to try to do here.
From the stretch. 1-1. Upstairs 2-1. Two and 1 the count to Chris Kennedy. The next pitch outside for a ball, 3-1. 3 balls, 1 strike to Kennedy. This time ball 4 will mean a walk. The 3-1. Cut on and missed, and the count full 3-2. See if they send the runner again. I think in this situation you do.
You know a fastball's coming.
And runner does go, and it is low for ball 4. And the reason, and 1, because you know it's a walk this time, but 2 as well. I know we talked about the fact that you're not necessarily gunning to win quite as much as you might otherwise be in order to just give guys a chance and a look for the scouts, but at the same time, that situation was a little different. As Oppenheimer digs in. First on the way to him. Fastball strike, 0-1.
Well, anytime you put a runner in motion, it makes things easier for a hitter as well, because now he's got an entire area of the field where he just has to make soft contact to get a base hit.
Next one is fouled off, 0-2. The count to Oppenheimer. Again, Orange already has the game won, playing the bottom of the 7th in order to make sure that everybody gets at least 2 at-bats in the contest, which has happened now. They're going to play the inning through anyway, either to 3 outs or 5 batters. This is the 4th batter of the inning with 2 on and 1 out. The 0-2 bounces up, beautifully blocked by Shimoni. 1-2 the count to Oppenheimer. Stretch. 1-2. Gets through Shimoni this time. Throw down to third. Backed up by the shortstop. It's going to be a wild pitch. A 2-2 count now on Oppenheimer.
And Shimoni a little frustrated with himself, though. Good throw, probably has the runner.
Bellinger takes third, and Kennedy takes second. The 2-2 is a bouncer out towards short. Coming home with it. And the run does come in to score. I don't know if Shimoni was expecting the return throw, but he had two runners on third base. Somebody had to move somewhere.
Well, the throw a little bit low and in front of the plate as well. So even if he's, expecting that throw, not in the best spot to make a tag on the runner coming home.
So it is a 6-3 fielder's choice and an RBI. This will be the last batter of the game in Joel Strand. Regardless of whether he makes an out or it gets on. The fifth batter of the inning. In the bottom of the seventh. A game that is already decided. So this will be the final batter of the game. The next one is lifted out into right field. That ball is going back, and it is off the scoreboard. Run comes in to score. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how this one ends. Final score is 4-1. We thank you so much for joining us this afternoon, watching 4 games of baseball with us. Chris, hopefully the fans at home enjoyed it.
Well, I certainly did, so.
And we again invite you back tomorrow. Different set of broadcasters, same set of teams. Until then, for Chris Markinson, I'm Chad Cooper saying have a good evening, everybody.